To make Shuto-Uke, we're going to start by bringing the left hand over the right shoulder. I'm going to turn 45 degrees and I'm just going to bring my hand out to here. And we're just going to repeat. So the hand comes in, I turn it in, and then turn it out. And then once you practice this a few times, start to incorporate your hips. So as the hand comes over your shoulder, my hips are going to be turned straight here. As the hand goes out, I pull my hips back. So forwards and backwards. Just like this. Once you start to get this movement, incorporate the hand, the other hand, and that's going to pull back as the other hand goes forward. Here. So now I'm using the hips, I'm using the other arm. Let's try it on the other side. So 45 degrees, the right hand comes over the left shoulder. I'll let the arm go out and I turn it. Here. And then from here, once I start to get this movement, I'm going to pull the hip back. Push the hip forward here, pull the hip back here. So you can start to practice like this, trying to synchronize your hand and your hip. And then once you get this, start to incorporate your other arm. So as the hand comes back to the shoulder, I pull the hand to my chest, here. So that's the upper body movement. Now with the stance, Kokut statue, when I'm in the stance, I want to make sure I start with my hips slightly forward, and then as I execute the block, I'm just going to snap my hips sideways. Here. But when I snap my hips, I don't want my knee to fall in. I want to keep that nice and straight. And then I'm trying to squeeze my back muscles and keep my chest pushed out. So if I'm going to step forward, I bring the hand across my shoulder and the other hand goes straight. Step forwards, start to execute the block and snap your hips sideways on. Here. I'm going to show you 5 bunkai applications which incorporate Shuto-Uke. Now these bunkai applications are applications done, the practical applications, so they look a little bit scruffy, but that's the whole point. It's not meant to be nice and neat. So let's get started. So the first one we're going to do is, if you jump this side, Nathan. Nathan's going to throw a jab straight towards my face. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to parry with my right hand as my left hand comes to the side of the face. So all I'm doing is I've got a nice high guard, I'm just taking my head off to the side and parrying across my face. So here, one, then the other hand comes and pushes. And this is the Shuto application here. So don't worry too much about your stance, okay? What really matters is what you're doing here with the hands. So I'm doing like a double touch. So you pose the jab, tap, tap, and then that just opens you up for your punch. It can be a straight cross or it can be a body shot. So let's work it a little bit fast. From here, 1, 2, 3, here. And again, 1, 2, 3. And I'm just taking my head off to the side last time, because if I just use my hand, it might be that this isn't strong enough on its own. If you've got a really strong punch, it's just going to get through. So just to take my head off to the side, off that centre line is going to help me out low. So one last time. 1, 2, that's the Shuto. Look at the position, and then that follows you, that sets you up for your punch. Application number 2, we're going to be in our stance. Nathan's going to throw a jab again, but this time I'm going to go to the inside and I'm going to parry across with the left hand. So this time I've got to be really quick, because if I'm not, I'm going to parry his hand into my face. So I really need to get my head off to the side here. So as he throws it, 1, 2, I'm going the other way. 1, 2. That's the Shuto application there. 1, 2. Alright? Now if you just imagine it with the stance. 1, 2. Yeah? We're just taking the stance out of it. Again. 1, 2. Then the other hand comes to the side of the head. This could also be a Shuto application. So here could be the grab. And then this grab here could be this position. Okay? So 1. We're going to switch our feet. Throw a knee strike to the midsection. Drop the foot on the inside of his stance. And now I'm just going to take Nathan to the side by performing a sweep. So I just pull on his head and I just sweep his foot over this direction. Here, 1, and then keep control, and you can finish him off on the ground. Okay? Let's try that one more time. So we go to the inside. 1, 2. That could be your first Shuto application. Grab. That could be your second Shuto application here. Okay, but instead of striking, we're using it as a grab. Switch your feet and throw a knee strike into his midsection. Drop down. Now to get the sweep, we've got to pull on the head. I'm going to lift the arm up as we sweep the foot in this direction. 1 here, and then just finish here on the ground. Application number 3, we're going to be in the stances. Nathan's going to throw a right straight punch this time. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use the first hand here to parry and slip. Just like Shuto-Uke. When you do Shuto-Uke preparation, this hand comes across. That's all we're doing. Here, 1. Then the other hand is here. We're going to grab and we're going to use Nathan's momentum to pull him down. So, a parry, 1. Switch hands, then the left hand here is just going to ride down his tricep towards his elbow, and I'm just going to roll my fist inwards and just pull him around here as I step. Keeping hold, and then just changing my hands and finishing on the ground. So as I pull, I'm just going to pull my forearm down his tricep and step around here. So again, nice and slow. 1, that's the preparation for Shuto. Grabbing, pulling down. 1, changing hands. Get a nice tight grip while he's on the floor. I've got my knee digging into his ribs, and then finish on the floor. Application number 4, we're going to go from a cross lapel grab. So Nathan's going to grab my lapel here. What we're going to do, we're going to secure the hand here, and we're going to bring the left hand down and drop our weight into his elbow as I drop down into my coco statue. So I'll go from here, down, that's going to bring him round, yeah? So from here, reaching over, grabbing the chin, and just pulling round into this position. Keep control, and then you can finish whilst it's on the ground. Application number 5, we're going to go from a throat grab. So Nathan's going to grab the throat here. All we're going to do, we're going to control with the right hand, grabbing the wrist. And again, similar to the other one, we're going to bring the Shuto hand down into the elbow, and we're going to drop our weight down, bringing Nathan down to our level, and then from here the Shuto hand comes over, underneath the neck here. I've got this part of my wrist right where his Adam's apple is, and all I do is I grab where my little finger is and just pull up like this. So from here, get his head in nice and tight and just lift right up onto the Adam's apple. So again, we go from here, grabs, control, sit down. This is your coco statue, this is your Shuto, looping over, here, grabbing, and then applying the chokehold.